Welcome back to another video with the Unspecialist. This time around, we're going to be discussing some recent YouTube developments, specifically the announcement of the launch of the Black Manosphere magazine. Now, while I don't consider myself to be a part of the Black Manosphere space, some of my followers are a part of that space, and they brought this news to my attention. Given the fact that I do talk about men's issues, specifically young men's issues, I believe that this was a good opportunity to share my perspective on this particular development. It all starts with the headline, Dr. Spencer Holman to launch the Black Manosphere magazine special edition 2021 core glossary and report card. The first paragraph of the article reads that Dr. Spencer Holman, the creator of the Black Star University, formerly Father's Time, has teamed up with creators Dr. Michelle Knights, Kendra Davis, Tracy Brown, The Bishop, The Book of Ronin, Ibo Sosa, Young Manhood Channel, Fit Feminine Over 40, and Sherry Peel Jackson of the YouTube online community The Black Manosphere, which is an online community created exclusively for black men, and this team up was in order to produce the Black Manosphere magazine 2021 core glossary and report card. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but I think that it's best that we start with the title because in my opinion, there's a few interesting things to note there. The first thing that stands out is that the phrase the Black Manosphere is trademarked in the title of the article, and a quick search of US records would show that indeed the word mark, the Black Manosphere, is trademarked, and it was filed actually on May 11th, 2021 for goods and services, the specific categories being providing online magazines, educational services, namely providing classes, seminars, workshops, tutoring, and mentoring, as well as life coaching services in the field of self-discovery, personal growth, personal development, relationship and family coaching, and peak performance to motivate, inspire, and transform men and boys to achieve excellence in the areas of spiritual, health, family, parents, dwelling, mobility, education, profession, leisure, and wealth values. The trademark covers a broad cross-section of goods and services, and in my opinion, that's very significant given the fact that these goods and services encompass the majority of, if not the entirety of, goods and services that are offered by most content creators in the space. How I see it, this is a power move by Dr. Holman and his company, which owns the trademark, and an expression of intent of the various areas where he plans to capitalize on the trademark Black Manosphere. The company in question being Black Star University, a corporation registered in California. It was a smart move by him to have the trademark owned by his company, and I'm pretty interested to see what they do with it going forward. However, let's get back to what Dr. Holman has planned for his Black Manosphere magazine. Reading from the article, Dr. Holman created the magazine to provide measurement, accountability, and solutions to help men achieve excellence. The glossary was written for black men and those who support them, and it comprises of a list of over 100 words and concepts commonly used in the Black Manosphere. According to him, the magazine features the 10 major life issues black men encounter on a daily basis, which are: number 1, lack of black male agency; number 2, poor health conditions; number 3, high incarceration rates; number 4, chronic homelessness; number 5, chronic joblessness; number 6, chronic fatherlessness; number 7, poor educational support; number 8, negative media portrayal; number 9, barriers to wealth; and 10, the constant threat of extinction. The report card serves as a measurement tool for progress towards accomplishing goals and supporting the community in its commitment to helping black men solve their problems with the help of other black men. Something really interesting that showed up later on in the article is that it says that Dr. Holman brings these 10 life values to the Black Manosphere online YouTube community. As a visionary, his goal is to provide leadership, principles, and SOS systems, order, and structure to the space and implement solutions through the 10 life values to effectively address the problems that men in and out of the community struggle with. Dr. Holman's influence and his 10 life value system continue to reach men in traditional communities and now contemporary online communities across the United States and around the world. Looking past all the marketing speak, what this says is that the 10 life value system is central to whatever him and his group's intentions are with the Black Manosphere trademark. And I think we should unpack that. After reading the article, it's pretty reasonable to think that this is a great initiative, a great idea, exactly what Black men need in the 21st century. However, as I often say on the channel, it's important not to get caught up in the flowery language and marketing speak. I mean, especially since the article is sponsored, it's advertising content, and it's quite clear to see that this is a business move. So let's take a closer look at the business and start with the management. What's interesting is that you have a magazine for men which is working with a team that appears to be at least 50% women. In my opinion, this is antithetical to the idea of the space at best and a nefarious move at worst. Now, defenders will say that it's done for inclusion and balance, and to that I'd say it's a noble idea, sure, but a necessary one, no, and it's contradictory in the optics to say the least. Nonetheless, their inclusion could possibly be justified if the women have a track record of, say, helping Black men or championing male empowerment or male rights. So that said, let's take a quick look at the track record of a few of the women involved. Let's start with Dr. Michelle Knights. She describes herself as an innovative thought leader, professor, strategist, transformational and peak performance coach, author, and international speaker. And I notice a lot of that flowery, self-flattering language. An immediate red flag. Anyways, she has a PhD in human development and family studies and has served as faculty at many universities, including Penn State. And off of her short description, we can tell that she's a lot of things, good things even. But you want to know what she's not? A male advocate in any form. She's actually explicitly for female empowerment. Interestingly, she's also the vice president and business development director for A-Game, which is a company selling herbal supplements for men, coincidentally also headed by Dr. Holman. Dr. Michelle also has basically created her success through the Life Institute, which is based on Dr. Holman's 10 life values. So basically, A-Game and the 10 life values connect her to Dr. Holman. Remember that. Next, we have Sherry Peel Jackson. Maybe she's a male advocate in some way, right? Nope. Actually, she's a financial expert that spent 3 years in prison for, as she describes, showing the American people that they were being tricked out of what they earned. Sounds like tax evasion to me. Interestingly, she was also a speaker at Anarchapulco 2020, which is an annual anarcho-capitalist festival held in Acapulco, Mexico, which has a lot of controversy surrounding it. This all but guarantees that Ms. Jackson is an anarcho-capitalist. Now, let's not hold that against her though. I mean, people can change, and so let's just see what she's doing now. Well, now she has a business called Church Wealth Ministry Health, which she describes as the #1 biblically based financial, business, and tax training program for pastors, ministries, and church congregations. In short, now she's teaching churches how to maximize their 501c status. In other words, she's helping the fake church system evade the government system. Or in other words, a fraud helping frauds defraud a flock of people in the name of God. Which brings me to the leader of the entire operation, Mr. Holman. And by now, I'm sure you've heard of Black Star University and A-Game Herbal. But did you know about the 501c organization that he's involved in? Well, Mr. Holman is a chaplain at the Global Ovid Day Seminary University, which is an interfaith seminary that produces global workers of God. According to their site, a global worker of God can ascribe to any of the Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, as well as Hinduism, Sikhism, and Buddhism. Sounds like another case of spiritual confusion to me. Regardless, the organization is headed by Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore Eubanks, the founder, chancellor, and visionary of God's You. She's an ordained Christian pastor, and it's not surprising to see a female Christian pastor at the head of some spiritual wellness, with wealth at the center of it all. And once again, we see more of that flowery, self-flattering language. Red flags everywhere. Let's get back to Mr. Holman. It appears that he's a fake doctor, given the fact that he has honorary doctorate degrees. So let's take a closer look at his Black Star University. On the website, the Black Star University is arbitrarily called the world's leading value-based personal growth platform. And according to Mr. Holman himself, and I quote, "Over 20 years ago, I created a value-based system, the 10 life values, which has consistently transformed people through their quest for excellence and success in life. This work was inspired by ancient wisdom from my master teacher in Hotep, spiritual connections to God, and my research." End quote. First thing I notice is that the university name sounds like a nod to Garveyism, which is Pan-Africanism, which isn't surprising given the fact that he reveres Imhotep. And once again, more of that flowery, self-flattering language. And what's interesting to me, and should be interesting to you as well, is that flowery, self-flattering language, obscure spirituality, and the pursuit of wealth tend to all converge in one kind of environment, a cult-like environment, with charismatic leaders who use superficial titles to add credence to the snake oil they sell and the dogma that they preach. Which brings me to the 10 life values. This 10 life values they are the foundation for the Black Star University, the Black Manosphere magazine, and the thread that connects everyone named in the article as collaborators. But why is it significant? And why am I calling the magazine a Trojan horse? Because people who don't know this information may be under the misconception that this is about a magazine. The trademarking of the space is about a magazine, and that the magazine is about helping Black men be better. The truth is that the magazine is merely a Trojan horse to bring in the 10 life values, A-Game Herbal, and all of Mr. Holman's other quote-unquote business ventures into the space to profit from and benefit from the existing traffic. The trademark would essentially give the group control and some form of authority over the ideas, image, and messaging of the space. As you would have seen in the trademark application, it covers goods and services like books, seminars, relationship and dating coaching, etc. So these are all clearly avenues where Mr. Holman and his group plan to capitalize in the future. And even if they say it's not for profit, we have to remember that one of the members on their team is an expert in helping such organizations maximize their income. Regardless, for content creators to use the trademark or be publicly associated with it in future they'll most likely have to sign a contract, follow the 10 life values, and help propagate them, bringing more people into the 10 life values fold. Content creators will just basically be talking heads that preach the gospel of the 10 life values, sell A-game herbal, and evangelize in the name of their visionary leader. You see the same behavior in full-blown cults, churches, and multi-level marketing schemes. So don't be surprised or shocked when this all sounds so familiar to you. This brings us to the million-dollar question. How did this Trojan horse get all the way to the gates? Well, that's thanks in part to the Trojan horsewoman of the apocalypse herself, Kendra Davis, better known by her channel name, The Crimson Cure. Now, I could go on and talk to you about her connection to Mr. Holman and their group's plans for the future, but I think it's best that she tells you herself. Let's also use her to test my hypothesis about the group. Let's see if she propagates the 10 life values, sells A-game herbal, and strongly advocates for her visionary leader.
The A-Game Nation is the authority on the A-Game Nation. And nothing that we've been doing has been a secret. So there is paid sponsorship going on in this space because of Dr. Holman.
Ah, I see. So he's a sponsor in the space. How long have you known him? And please, do tell us more about these sponsorships.
I've known of him, like I said, since I first became a content creator. That was like in 2017, early 2018. It's now 2021. He is the first person to bring sponsorship to the manosphere space, specifically.
I don't know about all that, but continue.
I'm the first recipient of that sponsorship. He is now sponsoring several people that you see in this chat, their channels. Sheep Stay Sleep, The Bishop, Evo Sosa, Young Manhood Channel, and The Book of Roman.
Ah, the whole team. Who else?
Not to mention, there are at least 15 or 20 other channels, or about 20 channels in total on YouTube, this space, and in other sectors of YouTube, where he's giving a paid sponsorship, like any other sponsorship, with a contract, with set terms, and set conditions that must be met in order for the sponsorship to continue unabated.
I wonder what those terms and conditions are. Sell A-game herbal maybe? Propagate the 10 life values? I think so. Now tell me, why did he so graciously sponsor you? What's the purpose?
The purpose of Dr. Holman, aka Father's Time, being in this space and operating the way that he is operating in this space is ultimately to see both the space itself and the men and the few red pill women that are here in it to flourish. He's looking for it to flourish. Okay? That's the point. That's the purpose. And I know that for some, that might be a little bit hard to believe. Who comes into things with such an altruistic sort of mindset?
I've got an answer for you. No one. Especially not one with contracted beneficiaries selling their products. So tell me the truth, Kendra. What's really going on here?
So instead of allowing the Black manosphere to just continue on without any structure, somebody's gonna come along and capitalize on it because there's potential in it.
So the space needed a savior. Okay then.
Now everybody would have been complaining had a Zaddy came in and done it. Had a Zaddy come in and did the same thing, everybody would be up in arms. So a Black man came and did it.
The classic, y'all would be mad if a white guy did it. You're being an excellent spokeswoman, Kendra. Please, tell us more about your Lord and Savior.
Now, Father's Time is the kind of man that does not seek spotlight for the sake of seeking spotlight, okay?
Okay, so what's he doing then?
Introducing concepts to us like the 10 life value success system.
Now you're starting to make sense.
That I've been talking about for a year. How to get ourselves in some type of order. Why it's important that the value system be something that we actually take control of instead of living by a system that's been given to us that we complain every day is doing us a major disservice in every area of our lives. Then he comes along, the 10 life values was created by him. That you're not gonna find that nowhere else. Dr. Holman invented that. He invented it.
Wait. Slow down. Kendra, aren't you a Muslim? So aren't the value systems enclosed in the Quran enough for you? I mean, you said you invented the 10 life values, so that means that system was given to you. Does his value system supersede that of Allah? Come on, I need an explanation here. Give me something to work with.
And it works. It's been working for folks for the past 20 plus years. It works for me personally. I live it personally. He live it personally.
Now you see why I'm saying this is cult-like, right? Her devotion to this cause is alarming.
And it was created from the concept of, you know what? I need help. And I'm pretty sure a bunch of other people, my people, need help too. Figuring out why we continue to be so backwards. Why we continue to not be able to succeed in this life, in this country, the place where we at, in this environment. Why can't we succeed? Why can't we ever get past a certain point? And then the code was cracked. Oh, we got a bad value system. That's what's going on with us.
Yeah, sure, there's a bad value system. But the reason you're stuck is because you continuously pass up proven teachings for the mumbo jumbo of a prosperity preacher. You're listening to a fraud, and this is no exception. What happened to your God?
So now we get to sink our teeth into a concept that could radically change. It's a game changer. It's a game changer completely.
So it's a game changer that filled in where your faith wasn't functioning. Sounds like a cult to me. But maybe I'm not paying attention. What really are you trying to sell to me?
But if you've been paying attention, then you're familiar with the product that is A game. Okay? Every show, I show you this. Okay? This is a product created by Father's Time years ago. And it is for the health of men, specifically men. Women can't take this. I can't take this. All right?
So you can't take it, but you promote it every show. Oh, I know. It's in your contract. So tell me, how exactly are you gonna propagate everything that you've told me so far in the space? I'm interested.
The commercial that you saw a little bit earlier featuring this magazine, okay, Black Manosphere 2021 Core Glossary. That's the magazine that is in that commercial. As you can see, the pages that flips through are the actual pages in this book.
Well, there you have it, folks. A fake doctor, pastor, preacher, whatever, with some questionable connections, pushing his value system and a herbal product through a magazine made for men, but completely edited by women, promoted by contracted content creators who are starting to sound a lot like a cult. Sounds like some classic con man confused powder to me, but I have a feeling that Kendra disagrees. What do you think about all this, Kendra?
It's a game changer. It's a game changer completely.